tell us where are we? What are you doing? What's going on?
So right now we're at the Open the Debates rally put on by the Nader campaign, kind of, and also Cindy Sheehan. Kind of like all the third parties are here saying that the debate should be open to the third parties, where it's not just a debate between the Republicans and the Democrats.
The Mormon Worker out of Salt Lake City is your newspaper? Okay.
It's like it's a newspaper, radical newspaper, covers radical politics, but it's kind of based in Mormon theology. Our theology teaches us to be against war, to care about our brothers and sisters that are poor. Kind of like don't really believe in borders in the sense that immigrants should be chased out of the country that our brothers do. I mean, things like that, kind of a more leftist idea.
So when you hear the term civic engagement, you're doing what you do and where you're at, what does that mean to you? What do you think?
It means just being active in your society, in your community, taking part, caring, like everyone doing their role, so that we have a better place to live, like a more just place. So we're watching out for one another, that we're, trying to improve what we're doing, like a volunteer to help your community.
And what do you think are the biggest issues affecting our community that we need to focus on right now?
Well, I mean, I think usually when I think about communities, when I think about world community, I don't so much consider myself, I'm an American, but it's not something that's very important to me. I don't necessarily believe in like allegiance to a country. I believe in allegiance to humanity. And I think the things that we're confronting now in this world is like just the attack of capitalism upon the poor. Seeing firsthand effects. I've lived in Mexico at different times for a number of years. I just returned there from Mexico about a week ago, Chiapas, Mexico. And
what you saw in Mexico, are you seeing the effects of lack of capitalism, or are you seeing the effects of capitalism run on steroids?
I mean, I've been working with a group called Zapatista in Chiapas, Mexico.
Right.
And I mean,
Have you ever met Subcomandante Marcos? Yeah, what'd you think of him?
He came out and spoke to us about 2 weeks ago. No, maybe a month ago.
So your Spanish is pretty good?
Yeah, it's Spanish.
Awesome.
But just like them, they're confronting these neoliberal policies. Capitalist policies, it is not sustainable to the world. These people don't live in a way where they can be accepted into the market. They have nothing to offer to the market in that sense. They have their culture, and they have their corn, and they have their agriculture as well. The market system that we live in now with the globalization and neoliberalism.
When you say neoliberalism, can you define it for us?
Well, neoliberalism is the idea of globalization, pretty much, that the markets are being completely open markets, that these huge free trade zones can exist, or have the whole country be free trade zones. So sweatshops. The people don't set the price for their goods. The price is set by people from far away that can pay them whatever they want from the lowest possible wage. I think capitalism is the greatest threat. I think it's the exploitation of the poor, and the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer. There has to be a different way to do things, and every society, I believe, needs to come up with a system that's sustainable for the environment and also sustainable for their community. I don't believe capitalism is a sustainable thing. It has to be constantly growing and growing and growing, or else it dies. Like, take any business, if the business isn't growing, the stock drops and the company dies away, right? So at any means necessary, we'll continue to try to grow at the cost of human life, or the cost of the environment, whatever it is.
Turning now to this election, you're probably a Nader supporter, I'm guessing, since you're here.
Yeah.
How important do you feel this election is, number one? Number two, the allegations that the last election season, people that voted for Nader were some of the ones that enabled the Republicans to take office?
Spoiler.
Right. How do you feel about that?
I will vote just because it's the way, I think there needs to be a transition period, or the revolution, kind of. Like, I trust Nader more than I trust anyone else running for office.
Do you think his policies would be effective?
I think he would disable the military. I think he would disable a lot of things that are so huge right now and bring down the spending of them a lot.
All right, you said disable the military, and then you said reducing their spending.
Yeah.
So, can you elaborate a little bit more?
Military spending is outrageous. We're spending so much money on military, and these same things we spent on, the infrastructure of America. On schools, on roads, on healthcare, and all these other things.
The chief justification for the Department of Defense budget usually has to do with security, maintaining the homeland. Do you think that's worth the price we're paying?
No, I don't think it really is maintaining security in the homeland. I think it's a false threat that exists. I think Americans are scared of the outside world. They haven't gone out and traveled. Like, if you look at studies, like, there's only 50% of Americans that have a passport. I don't believe that threat exists. I think it's a made-up thing, so that means the military has been privatized. It's a way for Halliburton, Lockheed Martin, and all these other companies to make a crap load of money on no-bid contracts, you know? And I think Nader would attack that completely and cut the spending huge and invest in green energy, in the infrastructure of healthcare and other things that are needed to cut the spending from the military and the police state that we live in now. To me, it's ridiculous how much money goes to just like defense when people are dying. Like, your chances of being killed by terrorists are a lot lower than you dying of not having health care. I mean, it's ridiculous to be scared of being killed by terrorists. You're gonna probably die of, I don't know, colon cancer or something else. You're gonna win the lottery before you're gonna get killed by terrorists, really. Our whole generation is pretty apathetic. I mean, they're more concerned with like what's on MTV or like what they're wearing, what they're driving, what cell phone they have. A lot of people like start looking into global warming. You know, when I think global warming, they see like the true cause of it. They should see the cause that capitalism has had a big role in global warming. You know, and they start getting more interested in a different form of politics. You know, not the traditional Democrat Republican. There has to be a new way to attack this. And I think a lot of people are seeing that as more urgent. That we don't have that much time, you know, to turn back the clock on global warming. The planet is warming up. I hope that more people will get involved with that idea and start seeing other ideas that we can live collectively, which will reduce how much our carbon footprint or whatever on the planet, you know. Living collectively can mean a lot of things. I mean, yeah, like a sense of commune, a sense of community, you know, if it's not using as much resources. Like, that's what we really need to do is like, I think the planet can sustain a lot of people. It just depends how people live. I mean, my lifestyle, how I live, uses more, like my carbon footprint is bigger than a whole Zapatista community, really, you know? So, I mean, I don't think it's, right now I don't think I have a majority or anything. I think the majority is totally apathetic and doesn't really care and is like selfish and has like...
The majority of 20-somethings in America.
Yeah, I think like it's in their bones of just like selfishness and looking out for yourself more than anything, you know? Like, everyone I know goes to school.
Capitalism and apathy. Usually you kind of get off your ass if you're a capitalist.
They get off their ass for a selfish reason. I mean, they're apathetic towards these ideas, like towards like what's happening to the planet, towards like that there's extreme difference between the poor and the rich, you know? Like, they're apathetic to these ideas. Like, they're more worried about like what they're gonna drive, what car they're gonna have. Like, they don't really care about the homeless person on the street that much.
What do you drive?
Actually, I don't have a car.
All right, bonus.
But, yeah, I ride a bike. But the whole system, like, they go to college. The idea of going to college is to get a degree that they can make money. Like, that's what they like when they go in there. Like, they're not looking for like what they really want to study. A lot of people I'm familiar with, I know, like at least in Utah, I mean, it's like business majors, you know, and that's like, I mean, they're looking for like what's going to make money, not like what is going to benefit the world. And to me, that's kind of scary.
Have you gone to university?
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you study?
Philosophy.
Philosophy. All right.
I mean, I dropped out. I went 3 years.
Well, and this is one of the interesting things for me being at this event is, you know, there's the ideology and then there's, you know, what we're working with, you know, in the trenches day to day.
Yeah.
So, do you think you'll be able to make a living following your dreams after studying philosophy?
Well, my standard of living is a lot lower than most people, you know, and I think for what I do, I mean, I'm also a welder, certified welder, but I mean, I don't know. I think that, like, if I wanted to be rich, I think the options exist for me where I live in Utah. Like, it does exist for me. Like, I come from a middle class family, and I have a lot of opportunities, really. But I don't know. I don't see that. Probably live in Mexico, actually.
Well, to conclude our interview, thank you so much for your time. What are your greatest hopes right now? We've got, you know, 2.5 months until we know who the next president of the United States is,
well,
and all the elected representatives.
Hopefully, the third party will win, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So I think Obama will probably win, just because it's a different face. It's not Bush anymore. It doesn't mean we can, like, you know, let him do whatever he wants. Like, it's probably the same old crap, the same. His economic advisors and his military advisors are the same old bullshit, and we need to like keep an eye on him completely and